people just look at me and they just don't take me seriously. I'm the boss. People should be listening to what I have to say, and they're not listening to what I have to say. I don't get the respect that I deserve. I'm like boiling inside just thinking about it. I shouldn't have let it go on this long, and I don't want to let it go on anymore. I'm fed up.
Marijuana, pot, grass, whatever you want to call it, is probably the most dangerous drug in the United States.
I shall continue to oppose efforts to legalize marijuana.
I inhaled frequently. That was the point.
What we're doing now is creating the next big tobacco of our time.
This is a highly regulated business.
We're talking about daylighting a black market activity.
We are on the cutting edge of a brand new industry.
This is absolutely the next gold rush. This is the green rush.
Now the dominoes are falling, especially when they see the economic revenue.
There's $2 billion to be had next year. I plan to take more than my fair share.
I called the MED for weeks trying to get written permission just to move our plants to another location, and they were like, definitely not.
We grew all these plants to move them. Unfortunately, we can't move anything.
State rules, we got to mulch them into an unrecognizable slush and then mix them with non-marijuana at a rate of like 50%. Throw them all away. I mean, if you include all the little ones we're going to destroy, all the little 1 gallons that we're going to kill, then this is probably like an 80% still.
We're killing 80% of our garden.
80% of the plants.
About 600 to 700 plants cut down.
At retail, this is about $1 million worth of plants that we're shredding that we could have had in 60 days.
Sometimes you have to follow rules that you don't agree with, that don't make any sense.
The MED, as it's referred to, is the Marijuana Enforcement Divisions, the state marijuana regulators. They're the ones keeping tabs on this whole situation that we got going on in Colorado. Really, since day one, we've bent over backwards every chance that there was to ensure we're on the straight and narrow, we're following the line of the law. When I was 21, I got busted in college for growing 3 marijuana plants and had possession of 2 ounces of marijuana. I wasn't in the business of selling marijuana. I got caught growing my own pot, and I got 2 felony convictions out of it. I regretted it every minute since. But everything I did that day would be completely legal here in Colorado right now. Until this point, I have not officially been an owner. I've not been allowed to call myself an owner. I finally get to apply to be the owner of this place. We're gonna schedule an appointment for as soon as possible. Basically, it's like a second chance to prove I can be a professional. Then I'll finally be able to claim ownership around here.
This was, I mean, the last 4 months of my life, and I mean, for what? This is what's left. Bunch of stems. That was a lot of our winter crop, so I don't know what we're gonna do with ski season right around the corner.
We just threw away all our weed, and Christmas is right around the corner, and it takes a while to grow plants, 100 days minimum. And now the council is talking about letting voters decide if we stay on Main Street.
See, I like to drive by. I love to drive by and see, like, is that store hurting anyone? Like, is it bothering anyone?
Okay, everyone, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Obviously, Mayor Warner is not here. I'd like to entertain a motion, a resolution submitting to the registered electors of the town of Breckenridge an advisory ballot question concerning whether retail marijuana stores should be permitted in the town's downtown overlay district, calling a special town election for December 9th, 2014.
I think that people have this fear. It's this fear that it's going to change our town. The fear that this could alter the family-friendly reputation of Breckenridge.
Should the Breckenridge Town Council enact a local ordinance that allows the retail sale of marijuana in the downtown area of Breckenridge subject to restrictions? Yes or no? Any council discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes.
Ms. Lawrence.
I was feeling so beaten down, especially after the last meeting. And like, I was sick to my stomach, like crying every day. Even Zoe was like, Mom, why are so many people mad at you? It was just so awful.
Yes. Ms. Wolf.
Yes.
Mr. Brewer.
Yes.
Ms. Giello.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Burke.
Yes. Okay. Now the report of town manager and staff.
We just need to be organized. I don't think we even need to campaign that heavily. I think as long as we make sure that people are registered, that they know this vote is happening, that enough people will vote.
And it's happening now.
favor
It's
of
on
marijuana
December
sales
9th. There's no more
downtown.
elections. It's not like it's a
definitely
maybe.
happening, yeah.
It's on the ballot.
I can't help but notice this neighborhood, the Highlands, and these people that live out here are the supporters of the Summit Foundation of my job. Many, many of them are my campaign supporters. There's some people that live out here that would like to see me recalled. It's unfortunate. A couple of them I used to consider friends or acquaintances. This might sound so hokey, but like my childhood dream to be on city council, and I had no idea where that would be. The thought of that I've worked so hard to get here, and that could be taken away because of marijuana? Yeah. So, blah. This is what just stresses me.
I want to run a big corporation. I want to be running Coors. I want to be running Sam Adams. I want to be running the biggest wholesaler of marijuana in the country. I'm in it to be a household name. From what I see publicly from Brian, he is focused on his dispensaries. Do I think he's missing the forest for the trees? Absolutely. You can only make so much out of one dispensary. This place is huge. 6,000 square feet, 104 lights. I mean, there's a lot of money that can come through this place. If Brian decides to suddenly start wholesaling and he starts today, it's 2 years before he scales up to this. Brian is too late if he's not already there.
Looks good in here.
Thank you.
It's great. All lights up?
Yep, just
That's
got
cool.
those up yesterday and all the gutters and...
And then the drainage is new?
Yep, all the drainages are done. They should be good. We might have to get some replacement parts for these because...
Plants look good though.
Yeah, I'm excited.
This is real nice. We're gonna be busy in 3 weeks. And we don't have enough weed.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. It's really disappointing then, that we can't supply ourselves.
Yeah.
I asked everyone how much they had in stock, and it was not enough to get us till your next harvest.
Yep.
And I don't even know where we're getting it from yet.
We don't have any weed and we don't have any money. This is a kink in our plan.
We have over $125,000 worth of bills due in the next 30 days.
Yeah.
It's a disaster. It's really upsetting Caitlin a lot.
Yeah.
She hates it. She's over it all.
Well, I'm just selling widgets. That's how I look at it. My widgets just happen to be very desired. I've dealt with a lot of people in this industry, and Brian and Caitlin take this more serious than anybody I've ever met. They actually care about their employees. They're very concerned with, not only how we're doing as a job, but how we're enjoying the job that we're doing. I never want to let Brian and Caitlin down. I'll try 110, 115%, just to make them happy.
He's way overscheduling the employees that he does have, and maybe the end result is we do have to let go of some of our employees down there, but I would just like to see what his scheduling structure is, and like you said, maybe we start from how many hours need filled.
That's where we definitely start from.
Yeah.
Right now, like maybe. I mean, it's like...
Okay, yeah, sorry. Definitely.
I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to save people's jobs, and
I just am trying not to fire everyone if we
Agreed.
can help it.
Hey.
Hi, how's it going?
What's happening,
Check
guys?
this out. Look at the Oriental rugs. This is nice. Cool. Well, it looks nice. It's nice and full, so that's good.
Yeah, and people are really digging us. You know, people come in here and they're like, it's very welcoming, it's very friendly, it's very inviting. You know, it's nice to hear that because that's pretty much what I was going for.
Yeah,
you know, I want people to feel like they're not doing anything wrong.
So, we were reviewing everyone's numbers, mostly from a labor as a percentage of revenue perspective. The big story is we were pretty sure we were gonna have a conversation about slicing off about half of your staff.
Okay.
Pretty rapidly. Your store does great, actually, and it does 1/3 of the greatness that her store does.
Which is what you wanted.
And it is exactly what we predicted, 1/3. But your labor is 300% of the percentage of your sales as hers is.
So my labor is more than your labor.
No,
it's
almost the same.
But we do a third of the revenue. Okay, yeah.
So you see how we gotta like shave that down?
Yeah.
So we could probably also say we're gonna be asking a little bit more of everybody because there's gonna be less of you to do everything we've been accomplishing. We can probably offer a raise too to help increase morale, right? While we're stepping fewer people into the same tasks.
It sucks pretty bad. I definitely like everybody that works for me right now. And I'm definitely not looking forward to the talks I'm gonna have to have with these guys. But it's all about numbers.
We have 30 employees right now. We've had employees that have come and gone and some that have been with us since the first, or employees like Lauren that have been with us much longer, and Nick. And they start to become friends and family, and then all of a sudden they're not working out, they're not doing their job, and you have to let them go. You really just gotta kind of emotionally detach yourself from the situation. You've got to put the business first and do what's best for the business. Otherwise, you just won't be successful. Hey, I was just calling to see if you got to make that payment for our mortgage today. Hope that all went well. I figured it'd be easier to call. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. I am trying to do a budget. It's a short-term budget, just bills that we have to pay over the next month, really. We are in our slow season, and a lot of our bills are hitting really hard. We already told our landlord in Breckenridge that we were going to be late on rent. Our employees are managers, and they're on a salary wage. And between their actual net pay and the payroll taxes we pay, with unemployment taxes and wage withholding, and it's a lot of bills. So.
Hey, Wade, it's Brian. Oh, pretty good, man. I'm calling to ask, really, if you don't mind, if we're a little bit late on this last 20% or so. You know, come the holiday season here, this town starts to get a lot busier, and, you know, I don't see any reason why we won't have a similar winter to last winter.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that'll be fine. I can handle that.
I appreciate it, Wade. I really, really appreciate that.
Brian and I have spent thousands of dollars of our personal money for the company that should be coming out of the company budget. Yeah, we're just getting hit from every direction right now.
In 5 years, I would like to honestly be somewhere else with the education that I've taken from here. You know, have my own enterprise somewhere. The dream is to sell a business to Philip Morris for $100 million, you know? Never have to work again. Casey Jones, come here. Both my parents are entrepreneurs. You know, feel like it runs in my family. This is college for me. This is me learning. It was like 2 months into working here. Brian and Caitlin were showing confidence in me, and you know, it says something to have people believe in you. And as soon as that happened, it was like just a switch flipped for me. You know, they're no different than me. You know, Brian didn't finish his degree in college, and he's out here just doing it. It's just about how bad you want it.
Doesn't smell like weed yet.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Mama.
Mwah.
My parents coming today. My mother has never seen weed. My mom's gonna shit herself. This is Allie. This is Mom, Brenda.
Nice to meet you.
My
Hi,
dad's
nice to
Steve.
meet you.
I'm Steve. Nice to meet you as well. Heard a lot about you. This is pretty crazy.
This is weed.
I have seen it before.
Oh, you have? I was under the assumption that you had never seen it. So yeah, we have all of our buds here. You know, if you open them up and smell them, they all smell different. They are all very different.
Can I smell this one, the tangerine?
Smell them all.
Oh. My family's from Kansas and very, very conservative. And I have never smoked pot. I've never even tried it. So it's a little different for me, but you know, I'm open. I'm open.
I've never inhaled.
Not to trying it yet, but I'm gonna pass on sour diesel.
These brownies are cool. They come like indica sativa. So this one would be like a downy body buzz.
A downy body buzz.
Yeah, so like, you know, lets you mellow into the couch.
One day, I, text him, how are you? What'd you do at work today? And he goes, I rolled 300 joints. And I just said, sorry I asked, as a mother.
Right now, as far as expansion, we're focusing mostly on the production side of the company. If we're going to get big, I think that's where we're going to get big. If we want to be, the best of the best and the biggest of them all, I don't think that it's going to be worth it for us to continue to focus on the storefronts. If we can make the same money out of the wholesale side and not have to deal with any of the headache or the stress that these store locations have caused us, why not just opt for that? Hopefully Allie's been paying her taxes.
Caitlin is extremely intelligent person, and I respect her a lot, but emotions are hard for her to keep it out. She's 25 years old running a $1 million company that has all these different facets that are coming from everywhere. An outrageous amount of stress that's on her.
I guess everything with the company is bigger. It's the good and the bad. Of course, the council thing isn't easy to deal with. That has been like the most stressful event ever. It just feels so personal. I keep on trying to tell myself that it's not personal, but it kind of is. It's our livelihood. I just don't know sometimes if all of the work that we've done so far is going to be worth it or not. The last thing that I want to do when I go home after a long, hard day of work is fight with Brian at home. Like, I've already had enough stress to deal with that I don't need to, do that, 24/7. I don't need to do that all day, every day. But I hope it's, right now, I don't feel like it's worth it. And maybe it would be better if we were, right now we're dumping all of the money back into the business, which is good. We want to do that. And we're collecting a paycheck, so it's not like we don't have any money at home. But, it doesn't feel like 5 years worth of work yet, that's for sure. So hopefully we get there at some point, but it's hard to want to keep working towards that when everything else is so hard.
We are very close to end of building permit construction. Basically what we need to do to get our certificate of occupancy. Air conditioning is what we're waiting on. At that point, we can call in for our CO inspection.
Okay. Can we schedule the CO inspection now?
No,
You
because
can't-
we have to call in for an electrical inspection.
Okay.
And then we have to call in for a final HVAC and plumbing inspection. Then we can call in for a CO. They're usually
Can we
pretty
schedule
quick.
the electrical and AC inspections right
Once
now?
it's done. Can't jump the gun.
Come on, Gabe.
Can't do it.
I'm giving you a deadline.
Good luck. Catherine and I, we get along great if we're not dealing with business. Once we start talking business, we definitely tend to butt heads a little bit.
So if we're talking, if we could get our CO, let's say target would be October 6th, right? Because we're here. So all of this week's like October 6th, 7th.
Yep.
When is buildings ready, everything's in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Let's say 1, 2, 3. Let's say the last week in October. Do you want an actual date, Catherine?
I want a date.
Jesus.
Pick one, Gabe.
She is super motivated, very good as far as business goes. I'm a fantastic grower, but I am not a businessman.
Every time I talk to you, Gabe, there's more.
I know.
All right. And break. Call this meeting to close. I am throwing everything I own on this gamble. I'm at a point now where this is starting to become my full-time job, which means that I really can't do anything else, and there's no money coming in from this right now. But the potential upside is so much greater than the potential loss. We expected when I first came into this that we would be harvesting come Halloween, That's not happening. We're looking at Christmas right now, and I'm still not sure that I totally believe that. I know how to run a business. Do I know anything about the marijuana industry? No. Which is terrifying. I mean, we can dream as big as we want, but if we can't grow a plant, we're not anything, and we're not going anywhere.
Me and Brian are actually good friends in college, and we were going to move out here together right when we graduated, just because, I mean, who really wants to live in Philly forever? So he moved down here, and he was serving at a restaurant, and I was running some restaurants. He got this whole thing going, and he always said, if anything opens up, you know, you got the knowledge how to manage people, so I need you to step up and do that. We've had some interpersonal issues with some of our managers. Saturday, my day off, I get a phone call at 8 o'clock in the morning from a manager that says there's nobody in the building. It's hard, you know? We went from 2 employees to 30 literally overnight. Bit off a little more than we needed to chew at the time. Just have a couple things to go over. So basically, there's been a lot of animosity and stress, I think, on us all for the last, I mean, if not 8 months, but it seems a lot more the last 2. I technically was never a general manager before. I worked under great people, they taught me a lot, but there's still those issues of we don't know how to do everything. One of my owners has had 1 job prior to this. She worked at a restaurant for 5-6 months. Now she owns a, you know, multiple location marijuana dispensary.
Sent an email out asking every single manager to call me, and that 1 of 3 did.
You can still write someone up for it.
'Cause I just want people, I feel like no one ever knows that I'm disappointed.
I mean, just let them know that there is no more write-ups coming. You know,
Exactly, they're not listening to me.
Caitlin asked these people, your staff, to get this done. They didn't do it.
I had never had an opportunity to tell these managers how upset I am that I send emails, especially ones that are as important as a state-mandated report that we have to send in. Like,
daily.
I can't tell people to respect me or listen to what I have to say or care about what I say. They either do or they don't. When the owners ask you a question,
I think this
why
is what we get for having a staff of an entirely untrained management who had to grow up with other non-managers.
What's the solution to all this then?
They could just show us a little respect. I feel like nothing that I ask of our employees is unreasonable.
Well, why don't you have your write-up meeting with Josh? How's that sound?
People just look at me and they just don't take me seriously.
All right, man, you ready to have me give you these things?
I'm the boss. People should be listening to what I have to say, and they're not listening to what I have to say. That's infuriating. I'm writing your paychecks.
You know why you're getting these. Now, I gave you 2 write-ups.
I'm more upset about the fact that my employees won't listen to me than I am that council wants to kick us out of our location, and it's that upsetting. I'm like boiling inside just thinking about it. At this point, I'm fed up. It's been 8 months now. 8 months is too long. I don't want to let it go on anymore.
I'm giving out little coupons. They're called Can of Cash, and they're for BCC specifically, giving them $5 off and thanking them for being here and supporting our economy and our community for the weekend. This is for the Cannabis Club. If you're into trying recreational marijuana, don't hand any to any families.
You're like, here's $5.
No, I do. I hand them to families because sometimes moms and dads need to get high too.
It's sad that this conflict has to happen. It's tough because I care very much about our brand. I mean, I care a lot. I don't think that it'll have a negative effect on our brand.
Weed has always been part of the culture.
Right.
And the brand of Breckenridge. You would come here and you would ask your ski instructor to get you weed. You know, it's part and parcel of the ski culture.
In the fight to keep a marijuana shop open on Main Street in Breckenridge, there is only one pod shop open on Main Street. Some residents say it tarnishes Breck's family-friendly appeal.
It concerns me. I'm concerned about the people from Oklahoma or Chicago or Florida or Texas that say, we're not going to go there because of this. This could have an impact on everyone's business in this community.
There are definitely people in this town who are trying to sell us as Disneyland. But I'm not even sure if I went through the Go Breck advertising, our actual marketing arm, I'm not sure that they're selling Disneyland because Go Breck organizes half of our party festivals. So Whatever people want to say we are and want to try to sell as our brand, that's not what this town is selling. The direct marketing arm of our town is selling party.
Hey, do you guys smoke?
Pain relieving. We've got joints.
$5 off. Yes. Would you guys like one too? Please.
We are heavily dependent upon our guests and tourists. Why do you flaunt something like that when you realize your customers provide 70% of your town revenues? We're not any town USA.
Checking in from Breck tonight, and Jeff, the town's certainly divided over this one.
The media is constantly up here interviewing town council and community members, and so it's like, how do you position our community as still a family-friendly community?
It's disappointing. You know, I was so excited to be on town council and to make a difference.
I'm proud of you, and I think it makes me love you more every day that you stand up to what I see as the hierarchy, the cabal, the people who are opposing what, society wants.
Hey guys, could you follow me over beside you? Oh my God. What the hell? They're telling them they can't film. Look at them.
For some reason, the town is afraid to let you guys come on Main Street, even though it's a town-sponsored event.
The longer we keep this issue out there, we're just going to be fodder for whomever wants to continue to write articles or, quite frankly, do documentaries.
I have never told a stranger that I'm in the marijuana industry. There's close family and friends that know. It's not at all that I'm ashamed of what I'm doing. It's just not something that I have my head around yet. It's still pretty new for me. And there's gonna be a million questions, and I'm just not ready to answer a million questions. We're over $1 million in this at this point. Every day that we're behind, somebody else is ahead. Obviously, right now, our primary goal is getting the weed grown, getting it out the door. I know how to grow a business. I know how to run a business. And a lot of these people just know how to grow weed. And I haven't heard anyone that's looking at it from the direction that I'm looking at it. And looking at it from a wholesale and from a branded product perspective versus from owning a bunch of retail stores. I want to be the cores. When do I want to see a return on my money? Yesterday. I mean, somebody's got to pay my rent at some point. Somebody's got to pay my credit card bills. If we aren't bringing in money by the end of the year, there's going to be some serious situations. Time is ticking. Are people going to get Absolutely.
So, Josh, I wanted to have like a man-to-man rather than all managers pounding on you. Not your strongest 4 weeks in the history of your life, I'm sure.
I've had some personal things going on, too, so.
Okay, well, and that's not necessarily my business.
Nope.
Something's been slowing him down, and he's only been living up to his potential 2 to 3 days a week out of the 5, and we need it from him 5.1 out of 5 days. We don't want to lose you from the company, but I think that you've been choosing not to be as good as you could be. And, I mean, do you agree with me so far?
I do, yeah.
The one time that Lauren put the wrong packages on there or whatever, and you called Caitlin and spent like an hour talking to Caitlin, mostly about how terrible Lauren had made your night. Had you spent the hour fixing it, you would have gone up 2 notches in everyone's chart.
Yeah.
Instead, you didn't fix the problem and complained and went down 2 notches. The other bit's problem was Caitlin had sent an email to all managers saying we need to update MITs daily starting whatever day that was. She said, when she says something, you gotta, she owns this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
She's like 80%. She will kill all of us. You really have to do it. I think if he would live up to his potential, he could be our best employee. Does that sound good?
I'm with you.
All right. Come on, Brian. All right, good. Thank you. Let's go back inside. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Would you like to start off with any appetizers tonight?
Yes, the calamari, actually.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I might get some whiskey on the rocks for my drink.
You know
I
what?
need
Me
something
too.
strong.
Me too. There was a point in the middle of the day, well, it was probably towards the end of the day, where I had 31 new emails. I just had 13 new emails now. I got it down to 4. Now we're back up to 13. I think my head might explode from right here.
I can't think anymore. I'm done for the day.
Sucks that it's 8 o'clock at night and we're a quarter of the way into a drink and dinner, and work is still dominating the conversation. You okay, baby?
Yeah.
I hate seeing you all stressed out like this all the time.
I know.
It's like the 3rd time today you've had a...
I don't want to be stressed out like this all the time.
I mean, as soon as possible, I'll take over as much as I can.
I just feel like there's no, I don't even know how, we can't even get all of the work done together. I mean, that's really the only reason I haven't quit sooner. It's because I feel like I can't leave you with everything.
But I'm okay.
I mean, I know you're okay, but like I said, I just don't know how you would get everything done that you need to.
I think that...
we still can't get everything done right now.
You know, maybe it's time to get a little more serious about the fact that you hate the stress and you hate having to be like this all the time. And I hate seeing you like this. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Come here, baby. I'm sorry. I know it's terrible. The way out is work super hard, make sure I can run the company, and do it without you. And if that's possible, then we should get you out here as quickly as we can. I love you.
I love you too.
Okay? I mean that. I'm not gonna put this company in front of us. Because this company's gotta burn to the ground.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
Why do I have so much stuff? Who has a bag of cords like this? The hell is any of this? I am selling as much as I can. I am moving from a 3-bedroom house to a tiny studio in town. So, A, I need to get rid of things, and I'm definitely a pack rat. And B, I need the money. My money is all tied up in the grow facility. We should have harvested by Halloween is what we're expecting. We're 2 weeks from Halloween and we haven't even submitted our licensing paperwork. So, the planning out of how much money I had to get me through to this point is gone. So we need some plants in the warehouse. I'm aware that I got in late. It's certainly scary to think that it could be too late. But like I said, I can't focus on any of that, and I have faith in the people that are growing the weed. I have faith in the marketing team. I have faith in myself. I have faith in my business acumen. We're gonna make it. To all the people that are looking at this saying, oh, I need to run into marijuana, it's so easy, there's so much money to be had, I would say you're probably a little late on that. Money is not a given in this industry anymore. You have to know what you're doing, you have to have a plan, you have to be getting somewhere. It's a pain in the ass to move. So I'm posting all of the things that I have for sale, but it means that everyone in town right now is seeing that I'm selling everything off. It's a very public thing that I'm just now realizing is as public as it is. It's so far so wonderful with the marijuana industry.
The reward for all the risk we're taking, in my opinion, is the flexibility to do what I want to do with the rest of my life. Caitlin's plan is to dip out of the business much sooner than I would.
It's her intention to leave the company just as soon as possible. Are we content the way it is right now, that we're as busy as we are? No, we're not content with that. That's got to go. There's no way to raise a family. There's no way to relax. The uncertainty of the banks, the uncertainty of the next president, the uncertainty of all of our landlords, all the councils. We'll leave the industry, we'll leave the business if this is what it's going to look like forever.
It's not good for the industry. It's not good for me. If BCC gets kicked off of Main Street, if marijuana gets kicked off of Main Street, it's gonna look like a step backwards. I'm gonna fight for the industry. I'm gonna fight for the industry, which yes, involves fighting for BCC. My plan today is to try and get in touch with Brian, talk to him about the need to really step up, given some of what I know with what the opposition is doing. The more industry support we can get behind this, the better. This is bigger than Breckenridge right now. He is a smart businessman, but I'm not sure that he thinks it as far through as I do. I certainly would prefer that we work together than that we worked separately. There's power in numbers on that one.
Does Brian know you have a grow?
Brian does not know I have a grow. I don't think I'm gonna tell him right now. I don't know that it's relevant to this conversation. Hey, Brian, it's Catherine.
Hey, Catherine, how you doing?
I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Main Street fight and kind of figure out what you were thinking, where you wanted to go with it, kind of what your plan was right now.
Really, that's register voters. Get people to register to vote is really our only planned move at this point in time. I have heard that the opposition's probably going to put up a big fight, and I think we're going to be more responsive than anything.
But I would expect that the opposition is going to go negative pretty quickly. I know that they've hired a campaign consultant to come in and run this for them. I know they're throwing money behind it. I don't have a lot of faith that it's going to pass unless we stand up and do something.
Okay.
I think that the key to winning it on your side, on the Main Street side, is really making this a pot versus anti-pot argument. Because we know that this town is supportive of pot. We know that this town is progressive. And we need to get that argument out there versus letting the conservative people say, let's take it slow.
I think that's the biggest strength that we can counter it.
So, I guess my other question to you, Brian, is what happens if you lose? Have you thought this through? If it fails at Breckenridge, and let's say worst case scenario, you go out of business or you can't support yourself on Airport Road, do you close shop and just focus on Crested Butte? Does that support you?
Crested Butte does just fine. It does about half of what Breckenridge does. Obviously, we'd have to lay off all those people in Breckenridge. It would be absolutely terrible. We'd be laying off half dozen or a dozen people just in Breckenridge alone.
So what would be your next step?
My next step is to wholesale, to work on the infused products and concentrate side of the market, and focus a little bit less on the retail brand, because I think in the future, weed stores will kind of mellow down like liquor stores have and just become the weed store, the liquor store, and that you're really after the brands that are inside of the store, whether it be Coors from Colorado or a craft beer from Colorado or some whiskey from Tennessee. You're looking for the product inside. You're willing to go to any liquor store to get it usually.
Sure, I agree with you entirely. See you, Brian. Oh, God, and it got more complicated. Well, if Brian wants to move into wholesale and I want to move into wholesale, then we personally are direct competitors. I think it helps that he doesn't truly know who I am.
What's the next step?
I don't know.
Are you gonna call your airport guys?
In this exact moment, I'm going to stop and take a pause. I'm not going to do anything rash. I'm not going to say things that I don't know how those conversations are going to go, because then I'm going to end up in the situation I was just in.
Some people glance at you in a little bit of a mean way.
You're going to lose this campaign.
I don't think so.
We're here to answer any questions or concerns anyone may have about marijuana on Main Street.
We're picking the wrong battle.
Police have seized 425 pounds of pot.
We have become the black market for at least 40 other states that we can identify.
So how dangerous is this process? The room fills up with gas. This corner of the building explodes.
It's going to be the longest, most stressful day probably yet.